Like I said in the classroom, there's been a problem with some of the lawn equipment, you know, getting the wrong fuel put in, or people don't know how to start these things. And also, the lawnmower, being it's a 4-stroke engine, it's different than the chainsaws and the leaf blowers. I'll show you a little bit about that also. So the first thing I'm going to start with is this rescue leaf blower. Unfortunately, you won't find these at the fire stations. You only find them here, but you'll be using this a lot. Are y'all EMTs yet?
Yes, sir.
So what does EMT stand for?
Emergency medical technician.
Not here. Edgers, mowers, and trimmers. So, okay. For this backpack leaf blower. In order to start this one, if you look here, controls, slide control. This is on the PowerPoint because you guys are the first ones to get this lawnmower and lawn equipment training. But on this handle here, the orange switch, that's your off switch, and also it's your engine control. You get this on here, and that gets is where it'll start up and run. This orange trigger here, you squeeze this, and that's what's gonna make the engine go faster. But to start this thing, first thing you do is make sure there's gas. And this takes gas and oil mix. Here's your fuel tank here, the screw on cap. Unscrew that, look inside, make sure you can see fuel. And there's plenty, and it's green, which means it's mixed. So it's appropriate. The next thing you do once you get fuel is on the side of the carburetor here is a little orange switch, the lever. That's your choke. That's gonna be pushed all the way up. On the bottom of the carburetor, you get a little squeeze bulb. Just gonna hit that 3 or 4 times, squeeze fuel into the carburetor, because the carburetor does not store fuel, it stores in the tank. The little primer bulb, it pulls the fuel up into the carburetor so it'll be ready to go. 3 or 4, 5 pushes, like so. And when you're gonna start it, T-handle here, the rope. Hold the handle up here. This part is your spark plug. You pull the rope when it hurts, move your hand. My son refuses to work on equipment with me now because I told him one time I needed to check for spark. Here, hold this, let me pull the rope. He never did it again. Okay, so now I get a good grip on the handle, holding the blower so it doesn't pull off. This may take 3 or 4 pulls because it's been sitting for a while to get the fuel through the carburetor and into the engine. It tried to start there. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but I'll just take my word, it did. When it tries to start, take it off choke, slide that lever back down. That's idle. And shut it off. Do the little orange thumb lever away from you. The ones at the fire station are very similar to this, same brand. This is a more heavy-duty version, but it's still, again, it starts the same exact way. What the first thing I want to show you is this end here, your business end. This is the part that does your cutting. You squeeze the trigger, the engine goes fast, and this thing spins real fast, and the string goes out, and it cuts whatever you're going against. There's 2 different styles of head, and it all takes the same size orange line, which is called 095. Doesn't matter what brand, but this is the size of it. To fill this up, because if you run out of string, you got to know how to rewind it or refill the spool. See, you got 2 little buttons you got to press in. Sometimes they're kind of dirty and they don't want to come out real easy. This piece I'm holding actually can go in 2 ways. Only one way is right. So, this is kind of an easy one to feed. So I'm going to put it together and I'll show you how to wind it up. As for this one, there's 2 different styles. I don't have one here, the other side with me, but I'll get that later and show it to you. cigarette? Not really. Okay, to string this one up, on the underside of this cover, you may not be able to see it from where you're at, but there's an arrow. Here, there's one on the other side. That arrow has to line up with this silver little eyelet. When they line up, you should be able to see light coming through the hole. To fill the string up, about 3 arm lengths of string cut off by 3 arm lengths. It gives you about 20 feet, roughly. Take the one end, push it through. It should come out the other side. Like a magician. I don't pull rabbits out though.
I'll cut that, it'll look like you got it in one shot.
Thanks. Make it look like a professional. Alright, I got the 2 ends, the same length, cut together. And now to get this one wrapped up, start rotating this cutter, this head, it'll start pulling the trimmer line in. The long new piece, it doesn't get wrapped up like this, so it'll suck it in easy. There you go. That's all it takes. It's all on up tight. Make sure you snap this back tight, that way it doesn't fly off. And now when you start trimming with it, you kind of bump this in the ground, you push this in, and it releases it inside and lets it pop out a little further each time. And this cutter here, it keeps the string only that long. So once you bump it, it's going to cut it the right length, and you keep on going. All right, the other business end. So this one's going to be similar in how you start this one as the leaf blower, but I'm sorry, the rescue leaf blower, and this is a rescue trimmer. Okay, your ignition switch, stop switch is right here. Forward towards the cutter head, that's on. Back that way is off. Pull the rope and pull the rope and pull the rope, it doesn't start. Make sure this is in the correct position. Like the other one, this has got the choke lever on the side there, the little orange lever, and the primer bulb there. Choke is up, we're engaged. Prime the fuel. Choke's up, ignition's on. Grab the rope. Try to start. There's all to that one. Did I hit you? Who did I hit? Did you catch it? Did you catch it?
With his eye.
As long as you caught it. If you didn't catch it, you'd have to go run the tower.
Hey Frenchie, what about when you first start something up? What do you recommend as far as like gassing it right off, go full throttle, go half throttle, how long?
When you first get started on the weed eaters, the chainsaws, you may have a high-speed throttle engaged. As soon as it starts up, bump it and you just kind of hit the trigger, bring it to a regular low idle, and let it sit and warm up. The saws especially, let them sit and run 5 or 10 minutes. Make sure the throttle, kind of goose them once or twice and make sure they respond. But once you do that, then everything else is working, just let it idle and let it warm up. The weed eaters, you start them up, and before you go full throttle, give them about 10 seconds, 15 seconds to warm up, idle up, that way the oil gets in there and lubricates the engine. Some of the bad habits at the fire station is the saws especially, they'll fire it up wide open, and they'll shut it off and put it away. Well, that's not real good for the machine. So it's going to make it less reliable the time that you need to use it, because it either got too much fuel from when you revved it up and shut it off. If the piston's still moving up and down, drawing fuel in, so next time you go to start it, it's going to have a extra fuel in there that it may or may not start because it may have too much. But once you warm up in the morning, if you let it run 5 or 10 minutes, whatever fuel may be in there from the previous shift, that's going to burn that off. That way, when you do go to use it, it'll be ready to jump, and it won't be distressed with all that extra fuel.
So rev it up just a couple times real quick and then just kind of let it sit on idle for a while, right?
Right, just make sure it'll respond. Hit the trigger, make sure it'll go all the way up, and as soon as it goes up, let it come back down. Because if it does that one time, you know it's going to do that next time you go to use it. Okay, any questions about the weed eater? No? Okay. You can check your motor oil. Get dipstick here on the side, depending on the machine, and maybe on the other side, then it'll say oil or a little oil symbol, or you might see a 710 cap.